Welcome to the Dog Arthritis Massage Masterclass, how to ease the pain of your dog's arthritis naturally with the power of massage. In this masterclass, we'll be focusing specifically on massage, which in my opinion is one of the most powerful and effective techniques that you can use to help your dog relieve their pain and discomfort, move and feel better, and reduce the impact of arthritis on their quality of life. But first, let me briefly introduce myself to those of you who may not know me. I'm Tim Norris from both ends of the lead, and I'm a certified canine rehabilitation practitioner and registered acupuncturist with over 12 years experience working with dogs. I work with a growing number of vets by specialising in arthritis and pain management strategies and older dog care. So why is massage so important if my dog's got arthritis? Like as I mentioned before, massage is one of the most effective, natural, non-invasive strategies that you can use for your dog to help relieve their pain and discomfort associated with their arthritis. In this masterclass, I'll be showing you a simple to follow massage routine that will help your dog have a more active and pain-free life. So if their arthritis is causing them to slow down, look stiff and sore, or find some of their day-to-day activities harder, then the massage techniques that I'm going to be sharing you in this training have the potential to make a life-changing difference to their quality of life. This training is all about getting your hands on, so we won't be spending too much time talking about what arthritis is and how it affects your dogs, because the fact that you're here now probably means that you're well aware of that, and what you're really looking for is a solution to help your dog. Now, for those of you that already have watched the Your Dog Has Arthritis Now What webinar, I have already started using the strategies from the Your Dog Has Arthritis Now What beginners course. We're just going to take a few moments to recap on why massage is so important for your arthritic dog and what the benefits of it are. So why is massage so important to help relieve the pain of my dog's arthritis? Look, massage is going to help to reduce pain and stiffness associated with arthritis. It's going to help to increase your dog's joint mobility and crucially help to maintain muscle tone to support your dog's joints and ease the natural effects of aging for your dog. It's one of the most effective ways to keep your dog pain-free and moving well. And it's consistently the most effective strategy that I teach my clients that gets the best and fastest outcome for their dog with arthritis. It's also a great way to spend quality bonding time with your four-legged friend. Massaging a dog regularly can have a significant effect on their quality of life and crucially their longevity. So if massaging your dog is new to you, let's first talk about what sort of pressure you should be using. We strongly advise that you use a light pressure initially, then you can start to gently adapt your pressure as you become more familiar with the techniques and as your dog is more comfortable with the pressure that you're using. Please bear in mind, if your dog has any tight or sore areas, they might not appreciate you massaging them with any sort of excessive pressure. So be aware of your dog's body language and their reactions as you massage them. If they're ever uncomfortable with what you're doing, then you should stop straight away. Now, a good question to ask is, are there times when I should not be massaging my dog? Look, if you're ever in doubt, we recommend always checking with your local vet first. For example, if your dog is in acute pain, always get a diagnosis from your local vet first to find out what the source of their pain is, and then only start massaging them if it's appropriate to do so. As a general rule, we would advise you not to massage your dog within 48 hours of surgery or in the early or latter stages of pregnancy. If your dog has an infection or skin condition, massage might not be the most appropriate thing to do at that point in time, so always check with your vet first. Now, another great question to ask is, how often should I massage my dog and for how long? Look, this can vary from dog to dog. Our initial suggestion is to start with alternate days initially and then be guided by how your dog reacts to the treatment. Some dogs are going to benefit greatly from longer, more frequent sessions, while others will prefer more shorter sessions of just a couple of times a week. Now, each technique that we're going to demonstrate in this training can be used for between 30 to 60 seconds as a good starting point for your dog. But if you do find a particular technique is really helping your dog and they're happy for you to do it for longer, then you can increase that duration maybe up to 90 seconds as a guideline. Okay, so are you ready to get started? Yep. Okay, let's get into those techniques. Now I'm going to focus on 4 different areas of the body in this masterclass: the neck, back, the front legs and the back legs. I will demonstrate techniques for each of these areas and show you how you can link them together to form a flowing routine that you can follow easily and simply to help your dog. So firstly, we're going to start with the neck region. Now this is a great calming technique to help settle your dog as well as introducing your touch. It's particularly effective obviously for releasing tension in the muscles around the neck, the upper back and shoulders, okay? Now this technique is called kneading and it's a great way, as I mentioned, to release that tension and again have that calming effect on your dog. So here we go, I hope you enjoy this one. So obviously when you're working on the neck area, just take it really gentle to start with. The first technique we're going to use is what's called a kneading technique. I'm going to use the fingers and my thumb, and if you can imagine this is the neck of your dog, we're just going to start at the base of the neck and use this sort of circular, gentle, squeezing, kneading action and work the way up to the top of the neck area. So I'm going to place one hand on just to keep the dog nice and relaxed, although I think he's pretty good. And I'm going to use this like C shape with my hand. So just coming into the base of the neck area, you can see my thumb on one side. What my fingers are doing on the upper side of Cody's neck is again mirroring, they're doing exactly the same thing. So again, it's a nice circular squeezing motion. Starting at the base of the neck, and you might do about sort of 3 or 4 rotations in one area, and then you slowly work up, slide up to the next area. Gently working on just to, again, the top of the neck, just at the back of the skull. And again, just keep your hand nice and relaxed, get a nice flowing motion there. This is a great one for releasing, again, any tension in the neck area. It's also good because a lot of the big muscles from the upper back and shoulders actually attach up into this area through here. So it can also help to relieve a lot of soreness or discomfort in the shoulder area too. And as you can see, it's nice and calming and relaxing. So once you get all the way up to the top, which I've done there, you've got the option to come back down and just repeat again if you want to, but sometimes once is just enough. So how did you find that technique? Can you see how useful it could be? If so, please type yes in the chat box now. That's great, good to hear that. Okay, let's go move into the back now. This is the second region we're going to be working with today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 3 techniques to help relieve pain and tightness in your dog's back, which can help improve their mobility and their movement quality. These 3 techniques can be combined with the routines that I'm going to show you soon for the front and the back legs to get an even better outcome for your dog. So the first one we're going to look at for your dog's back, this one is called palm strokes. So here we go, see how you get on with this one. So the first technique we're going to use in the back sequence is basically just a palm stroking exercise down the back, always making sure we're working to the muscles either side of the spine and never directly on the spine itself. So what I'm going to be doing is placing my hands very lightly just at the top of Cody's back, and I'm going to be putting the pressure through maybe the first 2 fingers, index and middle finger. And what I'm going to do now is just very lightly, just striking down Cody's back. Once I get down to the lower back, I'm just going to let my hands slowly slide back up and get into a nice flowing routine. So it's a nice technique for just starting to introduce your touch to the dog. It's a great one for just relieving any sort of tension and muscles in the back as well. Again, always making sure you're working either side of the spine and only on the muscles. Okay, so hands are gliding down, nice flowing routine, and then just slide back up again. And you can spend maybe about 60 seconds doing this. Okay, we're going to go straight into our second technique now. This is called the heel of hand strokes. So we're just going to go into our second technique now. I'm going to use a little bit more the heel of my hand, just around here, and the same sort of rhythmic, nice sort of flowing motion down the muscles either side of the spine again. So again, I'm starting in the upper back area, just in between the shoulder blades, and I'm gently going to use more the heel of my hands. So I'm pulling my fingers back a little bit just to emphasise that you can see it's the heel of my hands that are actually doing the massage. And again, I'm just going to slide back up again. Fingers pull back, just using the heel of the hands, always just on the muscles, remember, never on the bone itself, and sliding back up. Again,
I'm using both hands at the same time here, but what you can do if you like, you can just use one hand at a time and just work on one side of the spine as an option and slide back up if that's more comfortable for you before going to the opposite side. So just completely up to you, whatever works best for you. And again, I'm going to spend probably up to about 60 seconds on this particular technique.
Okay, and finally our third technique, this is called thumb pushes.
Okay, now a third technique now, I'm going to use the thumbs. We can do little thumb pushes, just kind of rolling the thumb technique on the muscles either side of the spine. So I'm just going to work on one side of the spine at a time. So again, I'm just behind the shoulder blades, just on the muscles, and I'm going to just gently push down with my thumbs, just a few centimetres, and just get a nice little rolling action with my thumbs. So my thumbs are pulling like this little circular rolling motion like this. And I'm just gently working my way down the muscles on one side of the spine. So again, just a nice, slow, flowing movement. Never rush. Always make sure you're nice and relaxed, and obviously your dog's relaxed too. Relax with your hands, and then when you get down to the bottom, just let your hands slide back up again. And then what I'd suggest is you maybe do 2 or 3 times on one side of the muscles of the spine before you change sides and do the opposite side. So again, just a nice gentle flowing motion.
Okay, so how did you get on with those 3 techniques? They're pretty straightforward and pretty simple, but can you see if you combine them together? Again, it's going to be great for your dog's back. Now, for those of you that have already watched the Your Dog Has Arthritis Now What webinar, or you've purchased the Your Dog Has Arthritis Beginners course, you'll be familiar with the palm strokes technique. So by adding the heel of the hand strokes and the thumb pushes, this is going to enhance the benefit of those palm strokes and again to help build a more effective massage program for your dog. So do you feel confident you could use those 3 techniques to help your dog now? Please type yes in the chat box now. That's great. That's good. Good to hear that. Okay, let's move on then. We're going to go into the next region now. We're going to talk about your dog's front legs. Then I'm going to take you through some techniques for those. So did you know 60% of your dog's weight is carried in their front end? Now, front end issues can be the root cause of the arthritic issues for your dog, or it could be a secondary issue as a result of an injury or arthritis in your dog's back legs. So if your dog has a hind limb issue, they can often shift their weight forward to help relieve discomfort in their hind limbs. This can result in their front limbs overworking and carrying more weight, which over time can eventually lead to an injury or arthritis in your dog's front limbs as a result of their initial back limb issue. So you can kind of see how the 2 are linked together. So let's talk for a moment about the major joints that make up our dog's front limbs. We're looking at the shoulders, the elbows and the wrists. These are the major joints, and these can all be affected by arthritis. So let's talk about the major issues that can affect your dog's front limbs. Look, your dog's front limbs play an important role in helping your dog to brake and slow down. So if they've got arthritis in their front limbs, you may see them having trouble or hesitating when walking up or down steps, for example. This can be significant injury risks because they've got an impaired ability to slow themselves down because they require more weight bearing in their front limbs, which will often be more painful for them if there's an issue there. So often they're going to move faster down the steps. They don't have to weight bear quite so fully, which means they've got less stability and crucially less control. And again, this can eventually lead to them potentially losing balance and an increased risk of a significant injury. So keeping our dog's front limbs as pain-free and as mobile as possible is crucial for reducing further pain and injuries to them. Okay, so we're now going to focus on 2 important front limb techniques. These can combine effectively with the techniques that you've already learned in the Your Dog and Arthritis Now What webinar or the beginner's course. Our suggestion is use these 2 techniques after the techniques that you've learned from the webinar and the beginner's course if you've seen those already. Okay, our first one we're going to look at is called pressure circles.
So this one, I'm going to interlock my fingers and I'm just going to rest the heel of my hand just on the muscles that sit on top of the shoulder blade. And again, just having a little stretch. Okay, we're just going to gently use a little bit of pressure and put gentle pressure downwards, and just using the heel of my hand, we're just going to do a little rotating technique. Again, the pressure's light, but it's still going through the heel of the hand. That's the important thing. And then also, whenever you work, and always make sure you keep an eye on your dog, make sure they're comfortable and they're happy, and hopefully they're relaxed. So again, just work those muscles all the way around the shoulder blade here. You might spend again about 30 to 60 seconds on this particular technique.
Okay, so I hope you went well with the pressure circles there. So we're going to go into our second technique now. Now this one is called kneading.
Okay, our final technique for the shoulder blades is more of like a kneading technique. It's very similar to the one we did on the neck earlier. So this time I'm going to slip my hands just under the back of the front upper leg. So I'm going to put a couple of fingers underneath and the thumb over the top. And again, I'm going to use that circular kneading, squeezing motion. I'm just working those muscles just on top of the shoulder blade. And my two fingers underneath are mirroring that. They're working muscles on the inside of the front leg too. And I'm just working my way gently down towards the elbow joint. Once I get towards the elbow joint, I just slide back up and repeat again. So it's that nice circular motion. And again, I might do this about 3 times normally. So slide back up again and just work my way back down.
Okay, how did you find those two techniques? Do you believe they'd be helpful for your dog if you use those regularly? Please type yes in the chat box if you think so. That's great. Great to hear from you there. Okay. Now, for those of you that have been practicing what you've learned in the Your Dog Has Arthritis Now What webinar, or again, you've purchased a beginner's course, can you see if you combine them together with those two techniques you've just seen there, how it could help your dog even more? Again, if you agree with that, please type yes in the chat box now. That's great. Okay, we're going to move into that third region now. We're going to talk about your dog's back legs. Now, your dog's back limbs are very much like your car's engine, okay? They're your dog's powerhouse. They affect your dog's mobility to walk, run, move, and propel themselves forward. Now, if they are affected by arthritis and there is pain and discomfort for your dog, then the front limbs will take up more of the work of the back limbs, which, as we mentioned earlier, can lead to secondary issues for your dog's back limbs underworking because their front limbs is also overworking. So they play a crucial role in your dog's movement quality. Now, the major joints that make up the back limbs are the hips, the knees, and the ankle. Although arthritis appears to be more common in the big joints like the hips, it still affects the smaller joints like the knees and the ankles too. Now, some of the major issues you might see if your dog's got problems in the back limbs are they struggle to get up from the floor, or maybe they're hesitant to go up onto steps or the couch or the bed. That's, of course, if they're allowed to. They've got that lack of strength and power to move and propel themselves forward, and often they're uncomfortable sitting, and they don't want to walk quite as far as often as they used to. So let's get to some valuable techniques to help your dog relieve their arthritis in their hind limbs. So just like with the front limbs, if you practice what you've learned in the Your Dog Has Arthritis Now What webinar, or you have used the Your Dog and Arthritis Beginners course, then you'll already have a couple of effective techniques to help your dog. So what we're going to do now is start to build on those and add 2 new techniques, and then recap on one of the techniques from the Beginners course and put them into the flowing, effective routine for your dog. So this is the first technique we're going to do today. This is called kneading.
So our next technique, we're going to go into a kneading technique. So I'm going to place a couple of fingers just under the back leg on the inside, my thumb just here. Now what you see my thumb doing, my fingers underneath are mirroring that. It's that same circular kneading motion. So we just start at the top of the back leg and we slowly, couple of 2 to 3 rotations, and we're just sliding down a little bit at a time. So it's a great technique for, again, the back legs. It's great for releasing any tension in the muscles. And we're slowly working our way down to just below the knee joint. Once you get there, Just slide back up and repeat again. So it's that same kneading motion. And I'd probably do this about 2 to 3 times as long as it's comfortable for your dog.
Okay, so how'd you go with that one? All good? Okay, let's move into our second technique now. This is for the glutes, the bottom muscle. This is called thumb strokes.
Okay, our next technique we're going to go into now is around the sort of what's called the glute area, the bottom area of your dog. Now this is a really important area to keep nice and relaxed, particularly if you've got a strong dog like Cody, because this is the muscles that have a big effect on stabilising the whole back end of the dog. So they can get quite tight and sore from time to time. So the bump muscle is just again at the top of the thigh, just down towards the lower back area here. And what I'm going to do to start with is just a gentle thumb stroking action, just using the thumb. And I'm just gently going to stroke down towards his tail. Again, firmly but gently. And from here I can actually use both thumbs as well if I rather, and get into a nice little flowing routine there. And I'd probably only spend about 30 seconds or so doing this.
Okay, we're going to go into our next one now. Now, the one you've just done, the thumb strokes for the glutes, this is now we're going to do that same technique around your dog's hips, so the two work really nicely together.
And now I'm just going to finish in the hip area now. So the hip joint is just here. What I'm going to do now is just that same action. I'm just going to use my thumbs. And I'm just going to gently do the little thumb pushes to the outside of the hip joint. I'm just going to come underneath it. And just round in front of it. Now if your dog's got a little bit of a hip issue or soreness and tightness around the hips, this is a really nice technique for releasing it. Again, if you feel confident, you can just do the little thumbs, one sliding over the other. Just working around the front, just underneath, and just behind the hip joint there. And that should feel pretty good.
So how did you find those new techniques? Can you see how effective they would be, especially for those of you when you add them to what you've learned in the webinar or the beginner's course? So I just want to check in with you again. Please let me know if you believe that these could help your dog by typing yes in the chat box now. That's great. Okay, now I want to share with you the two most common questions that get asked by my one-to-one clients. So here's the first one. The massage techniques you show me are great and they're really helping my dog, but what else can I do? I want to get a better result and help them even more. I regularly show my clients how to use a heat pack and things like acupressure techniques. I explain the importance of keeping their dog's joints mobile and their muscles strong too. Then I show them simple, effective joint mobility exercises and strength and conditioning exercises. Then crucially, we talk about subtle changes they can make to their dog's diet that can have life-changing results. I even show them some of the tools that I use to get an even better result for them too, and how they can use them themselves on their own dogs. Now, one of the tools that I use every day with every single dog that I use is called the Gua Sha Massage Tool. And I've got a lot of my clients using it on their own dogs now with great success. It's simple to use and can significantly reduce the painful symptoms of arthritis for your dog. It's like using a simple brushing, like scraping technique that helps to reduce inflammation and pain in your dog's muscles and helps around their joints too. I'll also show you how you can use it effectively with the massage techniques that you just learned in just a moment. And if you combine it with a heat pack, that can be a real game changer for your dog. These two simple to use tools combined can make such a difference for your dog. And when you use them with the massage techniques you've learned in this training, it's going to be even better for your dog. Now, one of my favourite strategies for working with dogs with arthritis is using something called acupressure. Now, some of you listening may have experienced acupuncture for yourself, or you might have had it for your dog too, and you know how effective it can be. But as a registered acupuncturist that uses acupuncture effectively to treat hundreds of dogs with arthritis, I know what an important strategy it is to help relieving pain and improving your dog's mobility and their activity levels. Now, if you're not a registered acupuncturist like me, then you can't stick needles in your dog, but that's just common sense. But that doesn't have to stop you using acupuncture points to help your own dog. Now, one of the ways I teach my clients how to use acupuncture points to help their dog is through acupressure. Acupressure is a proven effective way to help improve your dog's arthritic symptoms so they can move and feel better. I teach my one-to-one clients how to use effective acupressure techniques and then combine them with massage and heat packs to relieve pain and improve their dog's arthritis. We even have a tool that increases the effectiveness of using the acupressure points that's safe and simple to use. These are from our dog arthritis care package, which you can check out in the shop on our website. Okay, this is exciting. Now I'm going to show you a fantastic sequence that will pull together some of the massage techniques that you've learned in this masterclass with techniques from the Your Dog Has Arthritis Now What webinar, and also including the tools from my dog arthritis care package that I've just been talking about. This just shows you what's possible when you start to add some new effective strategies to your massage routine that you've already got. Please note though, you can still achieve great results for your dog without these tools. They just give you another option to help you get a better and faster outcome for your dog. So the first technique we're going to do is just going to feel for the side of your dog's rib cage, draw up to the spine, and we're going to focus on these little thumb strokes working down to the lower back. So we're going to work this one down all the way down into that glute area, into the bottom area. Once you get to the bottom area, keep it going, and then just try and integrate that with a few little pressure circles like this. So it's a firm but gentle pressure. Okay, that's going to work through there. Now, if you've got a Gua Sha tool, again, what's great to do after this is then to do a bit of the Gua Sha, a bit of that scraping technique, all the way down the lower back, exactly where I've just been using on my thumb pushes, and then work down into that glute area again afterwards. That's a great way to follow that one up. Now we're down into that hip joint area. So once you get to the hip joint area, which is just looking at here, we're going to do these little thumb strokes just in front of the hip joint here. Then we're going to work just underneath the hip joint. Then we're going to work to the back of the hip joint. From there, if you've got on your fingertips, and we're going to do this little tripod technique now, just to gently massage around the hip joint there. Okay, so that's going to feel great. So once you've gone from there, again, if you've got your Gua Sha tool again, you can do a bit of Gua Sha now just around that hip joint. So just in front of the hip joint, just below it, and just behind it now. Okay, now at this point in time, if you've got a heat pack, you can actually rest the heat pack across the lower back just behind the rib cage while you're working down to the hips. So what I'm going to do now, that hip joint area here, I'm just going to feel for the side. I'm going to drop off into a little dip on the back, and then to the front, another little dip, and I'm just going to use an alternating thumb pressure. This is an acupressure technique, working to the sides of the hip joint, just front and back. Okay, I'm going to do that for about 30 seconds. Okay, so once you've finished that acupressure technique again, just alternating pressure just around the hip joint now, we're now going to go into those thumb pad pushes. So you can massage down now, all the way down, from the hip down towards the knee joint again with one hand or two hands. Again, just do that for 30 to 60 seconds. Then go into your thumb pushes, straight into those now. So you're pretty familiar with this from everything else we've done in the massage module earlier. From there again, that kneading technique through the back of the thighs, working your way down slowly. So your fingers are massaging the inside, thumbs massaging the outside. Okay, work your way down. How's that, Holly? We going good? Slide down to acupressure point 5 and 6 in the acupressure module, and then point 7 just again at that head of the fibular bone, just drop off at a 45-degree angle. And we're going to use all three of those acupressure points together. It's fantastic for any knee, hip, lower back issues. You're looking to hold those for about 30 to 60 seconds. Again, longer if you've got the time, but obviously that's the minimal. Now again, at this point in time, once you've finished the acupressure, what you can do with your heat pack then is again just bring it over and put it across the hip joint as well, which is fantastic too. So you've got that heat pack across the lower back, heat pack across the hip joint. And what we've done here, we've combined all those massage techniques to the lower back through the hips, down through the thighs with the acupressure points, and that gives you a really nice little sequence you can put together for any issues through the lower back, hips and the back legs. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that demonstration of how to use those massage techniques and pull them all together, and also how to use a heat pack, a Gua Sha Massage Tool. Now the other question I get asked regularly by my one-to-one clients are there any supplements or tweaks that I can make to my dog's diet that could help to reduce inflammation and the pain of their arthritis naturally? And my answer to that is yes, there are, definitely. And two of the most effective things that you can do is make up a bone broth for your dog. Now, it's a superfood for your dog's joints, and it's easy to make, and they'll absolutely love it. And then the next thing you can do is invest in a proven quality natural supplement, which can act as a highly effective natural alternative to the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs that many dogs with arthritis are on. Through trialling a wide range of supplements over the years, we found a handful that we're confident enough to recommend to you because we've seen so many times the difference they can make to our dogs with arthritis. And you can find out more about these in our online shop on our website. Okay, so what we're going to do now, let's have a little recap on what all of this means for your dog. Now, these are real tools that work. They're proven, they're natural, and they're non-invasive. Now, simply, if you use these massage techniques consistently, you can make a real difference to your dog's arthritis. You can manage and slow down this crippling disease and give them the best quality of life for the time they've got left with you.